Ever heard of a nightmare? Like a lot of other games in the 90s, it came with a VHS which you time with your play. The character on the video will give you instructions on what to do while you play the game in real life. Being a scary cat, I refused to play it when my mom bought it for us. My brother was disappointed about not being able to play it, but my mom had a solution. She brought out Rap Rat. It was a chippy, dinky little thing created to kids my age. You ran around the board, collected cheese, and the first player to reach the end will win. It seemed simple enough, and since it reminded us of Mousetrap, which we didn't have, there were no objections. We popped in the movie into the VHS and set up the board. The first part of the video was just simple exploration of the rules, as well as instructions on how the game worked. Then Rap Rat came onto the TV. He was not what any of us had been expecting. My smaller brother, who was only 3 at the time, immediately left the room crying. The rat did not even resemble a rat. The ears were far too big. It had a mouth lined with 2 teeth, the inside of which looked almost swollen. The most striking part about the thing, though, was his eyes. They were large, glitzy, and fish-like. I asked, then bothered, then begged my mom to turn it off. Rap Rat suddenly shouted loudly, screaming randomly, saying, "Wait your turn," in a demonic, low-pitched voice that was not like his normal, obnoxious, natural voice. In the background, we can hear the narrator saying, "He's Rap Rat, and he's the boss," over and over again in an early serious tone. The video was indescribable. Images crossed the screen in quick succession, overcut with Rap Rat's expiration eyes. The images were same things I was afraid at the time. A person looking over a balcony, a hornet slowly stinging someone's eye, an extreme close-up of a transcendentalia, a pit full of writhing corpse, and a blooded, strange, filled green fluid. We immediately turned the video off, and I ran out of the room, screaming, slamming the door behind me. It took my mom 20 minutes to convince me that the video was gone, but I would never ever see it again. I had nightmares all about Rap Rat. This wasn't the last time I saw Rap Rat. While my girlfriend and I were preparing to move in together, I was cleaning out the closet off my room and found it again, with the same VHS and the same board game inside. It was almost perfectly intact, save for a thick layer of cobwebs and dust bunnies on top of it. This was strange. Didn't my mother get rid of it? And what was the game doing in my room? I let a bit of gaps when I found it, and my girlfriend came into the room, asking what was the matter. Breathing heartily, I said, "Rap Rat." She laughed a bit, asking if it was a joke. I shook my head, explaining that it wasn't. She didn't believe me. Nobody did. I decided that the only way to prove it to her was to show her the video. I borrowed my neighbor's VHS and played the video for her. However, the images had to change. I saw a clown, his nose busting and spurting blood onto the screen. I saw a woman alone in a dark room. I saw a man being forced to pick up while hard metal and holding his overstretched hand, turning his head to a leathery mess. The scratching I heard as a child continued picking up, getting louder and louder. Then Rap Rat showed up, began twisting and curling his arms, feeling this way and that. The The costume wasn't a costume anymore. The felt was real fur. Its face wasn't plastic, but instead of a bristly of thorns with teeth, the eyes turned inwards and suddenly pop out again. Rat's huge fish eyes were inside out, staring right at me, watching my every move, my every expiration. It grinning wildly and gusted out at my girlfriend, and I with a single outstretched inhuman hand. I could hear the finest scratching on my front door. The TV went black and showed static. The scratching got louder. It wasn't scratching anymore, but thumping. The thumping of tiny feet on wood. My girlfriend embarrassed me in fear, and my senses kicked in. Before anything else happened, I stopped the video, ejected it, and unplugged the VHS. The scratching stopped. When I looked out the living room window, nothing was there. The police showed up soon after, warning us that the neighbor had seen a figure outside our door, and had called in cousin. My girlfriend and I simply couldn't explain what had happened, and had to tell the police officer that it was us. I was furious that the children's game was terrifying me. I went to pick up the tape, but the VHS burned my hand. It felt like I had touched a Benson banner on the highest setting. We had got the ovens from the kitchen in order to take it out. Even though it was screeching hot, I brought it outside, tossed it down on the sidewalk, and crouched with my winter boots. Afterwards, my girlfriend and I had bad dreams every night. We will both wake up in the middle of the night and describe every familiar images we saw in our sleep. The scratching would always be there. Lights were off in the room and was pitch black, save for the moonlight coming through the window. Now, though it would happen every time I went near the front door, and every time we said Rat's name. It sounded if something was very small and dragging something across the ground outside the door, pacing, waiting. I would simply wait myself with the covers pulled up to my neck until I scrambled with exhaustion. At this point, I was demanded to sue the company for damages. The first thing I did was call my mother and ask where she got Rat. She had no idea. I found a machete who sold versions of Rat and asked how I could get in touch with the company. He sent me this email. I don't know about this game, but I know it was created by the same people who created Nightmare. The company is called A Couple of Cowboys. Try them. I did a bit more research and discovered that the company has been deflected in 1994, only 2 years after they created Rat. I discovered why soon after. In 1992, the year of the game's development, a couple of cowboys committed a manufacturing company in Haiti to create the doll portrayed in the game. The company who created the puppet ran a sweatshop where they forced women and children to produce various components of the puppet, including the felt and plastic of the doll. One day, a yarn-heavy girl got her arm caught in the anti-swing machine. The spring louder, unable to handle the weight on the machine, come loose and struck the child's neck, killing her instantly. A few days later, after the funeral, the mother of the child come to the factory demanding to see the owner, who denied that he had anything to do with it. In fear of rage, the mother said that the blood from the innocent will sap every cursive of the doll, every command of which was created, and all who touch it would die. She claimed to have summoned a fear demon and screamed at the top of her lungs, A pot will curse you! The owner simply laughed and told his played bosses about a pot. They spread a joke from person to person, and the game was renamed Rap Rat, a loose argument apart. Each relation of the name apart brought with it a greater and greater curse. Only 2 years later, after Rap Rat was created, the company was shut down and the owner was hired by Mattel. There were stories of workers begging for days off, skipping work for weeks and weeks, and finding the puppet in strange places. There were also stories of suicide, grim, violent deaths, in which the workers would stab their hands and set themselves on fire, writing "I in fear" on the news surface in blood. Nobody knows where the Rap Rat doll went after the original creators disappeared. Some say the last things that the victims saw before going insane were large, sickening fish-like eyes. 1. Never ever say a pod out loud. Saying a demon's name out loud and eventually to them calling. If you already done this, it cannot be undone. 2. Do not try to speak or contact a pot. 3. Avoid being awake between 3:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. when Rap Rat is most likely try to scare you. The VHS is back. I thought I stomped on it, smash into it to Kingdom Come, but it's back. I found it in my sock drawer yesterday. The time I was already. A whole bunch of people have been contacting me trying to get the tape or some sort of video from the board game. My answer to you is that it's too dangerous. If I did that, it could very well drive you insane, scare you to death. The video in the game and Rap Rat itself have some sort of strange power. Rap Rat follows me everywhere I go. I see little shadows in the corner of my eye, or hear sounds coming down the hallway. When I'm the only one at home. If Rap Rat is there, it will let you know, but it will never let you see it until it's too late, of course. A lot of people have been watching the normal video from the normal board game. That's the thing. Rap Rats can be normal. It will trick you into thinking it's just a puppet and then stalk you day